the Dirty Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey Nocho Prano.
Hello, Andy. He goes right to the Stanley.
Little,
This guy.
got a little phlegm action going on here today. Stanley's clutch, not gonna lie. I'm a Stanley man at this point.
Jesus Christ.
Wasn't even my Stanley.
It wasn't even your Stanley?
Kind of took it from the wifey, basically. It's like, it's mine now. You don't really use it. I'm gonna start using the old Stanley.
I check in on Twitter so rarely these days, and it feels like every time I do now, I have an unhinged DM from a dirtball. I don't want to start a whole thing, Andy, but can I respond to an unhinged dirtball DM about your daycare situation?
Oh my God, we got some Ruther stands out there. Yeah.
First of all, I need to make this clear. There's no judgment whatsoever on you. Like, you do with your kid whatever you want. All I was merely saying was I had never heard of like a room full of just babies in cribs. Like, daycare to me was like blocks and playing around. Like, I didn't know. And also, the first time we had this conversation, I was not the only one that was shocked by this. Like, multiple people were like, kids going to daycare early. So somebody just straight up goes, it was like an attack on me.
I want to hear the DM. What's the DM say?
I don't have it in front of me right now, but it was along the lines of, you have no idea because you don't work. And if you ever have kids and you're working full-time, 2 full-time working parents, what are you about to do? And again, this is not an attack on Andy Ruther. Okay. But it's 2 p.m. on a Monday. Andy's in his basement. Andy's not a full-time. Can we stop acting like Andy works for the fucking TSA?
Well, I mean,
I get that you work. I'm just saying, he was like, who is supposed to be there? I was like, can we stop? Like, Andy's not a fucking corporate lawyer. Andy hosts a Dirty Sports Podcast and works remotely for a chili company.
Well, I mean, look, here's the thing on that.
He's like, oh, you bum ass comedian. Oh, you'll be around if you ever have a kid.
Well, look. There's a few things to dissect there. Yeah, one, I think any dirtball, who was shocked probably does not have kids. Now, and I've been pretty transparent. I thought I could. I can't believe we keep going back to this. This is hilarious. I thought I could have handled working and having a kid, and I was told by multiple people who have kids / like Brittany's mom, like, dude, like, that's not gonna work. And people kind of just laughed. And then I thought, okay, yeah, this will be easy. And then again, it's about control. You can't control when the baby's gonna sleep, when it's gonna nap, like whoever. So there's that factor. Like, I was unaware as well. You don't know until you know. This is what I always say. You don't know until you know, until you're in that situation. It's like a lot of things in life. You don't know what it's like to be at war till you're dropped off at war. You don't know what it's like to have a kid till you're a kid. Like, you don't know what it's like to lose somebody through death, have somebody who in your family has cancer, whatever it is, right? Until you're there. So there's that. Now the working full-time thing is, I mean, look, you can say, I know what you're saying, corporate attorney, but it's also like, I mean, we're at this stage. Working from home is like a huge subject in general across this country, with CEOs, with the government. I don't know if you heard, there was that leaked audio from the CEO, from Jamie Dimon from Chase, that was going off and work from home. So, like, look, I get, I'm not a corporate attorney. I'm also not a coal miner or construction worker. But the problem is you're just like the problem on this stuff is there's very little gray area, whereas most places don't. I've said this, they don't offer part-time.
Yeah, no, I get that. I totally get that. Now, I also get the idea of if they don't offer part-time and you're paying for it, you're not going to not send them. You're like, I'm paying for it anyway. And I'm not. And again, everybody parent the way they want. I have a friend who has the exact same thing, whose kid, I mean, the kid's not 4 weeks old or whatever, but he's like, I'm home. You know, he's
well, again, it's minimum. I'd say probably most people, it's minimum 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I think most people, it basically depends on the maternity leave.
But he says the same thing about his wife. He's like, there's some days where she's around, and there's part of him that's like, oh, well, if you're around that day, just like, don't send the kid to daycare. And then she's like, but that's when I'm going to get all this other stuff done and blah, 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 blah. Which, again, I'm not judging the way anybody parents, but if you're going to send me unhinged, angry, like obviously it sparked something in that person. Maybe they send their kid to daycare or whatever. And maybe they fucking put up power lines for a living 24/7. I don't fucking know. But I'm just like, Ruther's in his basement right now with a fucking Stanley. Like, he's not a coal miner, like you said. Like, if you're going to send me angry DMs, don't be like, how 2 parents working 9 to 5, get it together, Prano, you bum. I'm like, okay. Just saying, our typical schedule for the show is Mondays and Thursdays, middle of the fucking day.
Yeah, but
I don't have to wait for Ruther to get out of court.
No, for sure. But that's dirty sports. And obviously, I work for Gold Star. I'm on a salary with them. So it's like, which that job is all over the map as far as content creation, on camera, off camera, with all the other different stuff. But with all that being said, the bigger issue, which kind of just never gets talked about, and I don't know how many times I'm going to say this, is the cost. Because nobody wants, like, trust me, in a dream world, I wouldn't have any kids at daycare, realistically. Now, look, there's perks as far as learning and interacting socially. You get they get all the sickness in a weird way. They build immunity, and then bring it home. But like, yeah, I mean, the cost. I've said this before. Nobody talks about it. Nobody. It is weird to me that nobody talks about it. Like, no politicians for the most part on either side. No, just people don't talk about it until you deal with it. And you're like,
your daycare prices are going down day one.
I wish.
When I free up trillions in Doge, it's going to be day one. Daycare is going to be free. In fact, Elon, you've seen him. He does a great job bringing his kid everywhere. He's going to bring your kid with him too. Your kid's coming to the White House with Elon. It's going to be great.
He would probably need his own daycare. He's got so many fucking kids.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, nobody talks about either, which I think is hilarious.
That Elon Musk is basically Tyreek Hill.
100%.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I think I'll just say this in general. In my opinion, most billionaires have like serious God complexes. And I think that's what goes on there, of like the world and like creating it's almost like your own. I get that, like, there's a thing within men, I think, intrinsically to maybe want to like create a bunch of kids.
Right.
I think I'm saying, like, animalistically, like if you looked at every man, but like it doesn't mean you have to do it.
Right. Fathering children isn't being a father.
I agree. But with that being said, there is definitely a crossover with these athletes.
With that being said, listen,
but
we're gonna do dirty sports here.
Yeah.
And then Andy's gonna watch 3 different sports documentaries on Netflix before he goes picks his kid up from daycare.
No, I'm I gotta deal with constipation, baby, afterwards, probably.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's another thing you get to deal with.
Somebody told
constipation.
me that recently. Like having a kid is just talking and thinking about shit all day. Was that you?
It's probably me. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
me last week. It's all day. It's like I don't know what the equivalent would be for a normal person, what you think about all day, but it's basically that. But at the core of it, Prano, I think there was a sticking up for Andy Ruther there, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, speaking of kids and families,
Let's go. I knew it was gonna be the perfect segue.
I mean, it's kind of a segue for the Steve Smith stuff, which is wild. So I think this broke on Friday or Saturday. The whole situation is so funny. Steve Smith.
Now, not the one that Eli Manning made catch 100 balls before disappearing into the actual Steve Smith, the real Steve Smith. Remember when Twitter started and everybody was the real?
Yeah, Steve Smith, Carolina
At the real
Panther,
Steve Smith. Yeah. Okay.
and Baltimore Raven fame.
Yeah.
Steve Smith, borderline Hall of Famer. It's tough receivers. I would have to delve into it, but I guess he was banging somebody's wife, and this gentleman, what is his name? Tony Martinez decided to.
It's the guy who broke my knee in Oakland, from Oakland.
Mr. Martinez decided to record the call and then put it on social media.
Okay. I have not heard this.
Oh, you haven't heard it?
No.
It's pretty wild.
I've seen a couple of headlines. Like I said, I'm not really on Twitter these days. But I was on Twitter for a brief moment. I saw something about Steve Smith. Somebody sent me, they were like somebody Instagram DM me like new Black Sports Online headline champion or whatever.
Oh yeah. And
I read it, and I literally read it briefly last night before going on stage and was like, there's a lot there. That's one of those 3 readers because he doesn't mix in any commas. I'm gonna have to put that down on a Ouija board and try to figure out what the fuck it means.
This is kind of like the Super Bowl for him, this story. I mean, this is one of the headlines I have in front of me on Twitter from Black Sports Online. Tony Martinez crashes out Twitter after finding out Steve Smith Sr., in caps, allegedly went so deep in his wife he rearranged her IUD. Mr. Martinez is asking Antonio Brown for help. Smith did apologize for making Tony's wife ice up her privates. Video text pics.
This is like one of the this is like a Bill Hader as Stefan fucking headline.
Oh yeah.
He's like, this story has everything. It's got blacks, Latinos, whites, IUDs, Twitter, baby, Hall of Fame wide receivers.
Oh, and it does, because all the receipts. Here's what's crazy about this one. All the receipts are there. And we'll jump into it.
Okay, so here we go. Break it down for me.
Well, let's do the call first.
Okay.
This is Tony Martinez calling Steve Smith. I don't know if it was from his wife's phone, regardless. And then he tweeted this out. All right, sorry.
Hey, yo, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you've been fucking my wife, bro. What you gotta say for yourself?
I'm sorry.
That's unreal.
The delay and the I'm sorry is absolutely amazing. Yo, man, you been fucking my wife? What you gotta say for yourself?
That's unbelievable.
You're sorry? You fucking knew she was married. You're not a fucking idiot, man. You're fucking Steve Smith Sr.
Let's not do the senior.
What kind of dumb shit was that?
Why didn't he hang up?
Why are you quiet, man? Be a fucking man.
He just hangs out. It's amazing he doesn't hang out or hang up.
Steve.
That's the most Steve Smith's ever gone over the middle.
You ain't a fucking man, bro.
I'm just kidding. Steve Smith was great going over the middle.
All that shit you do on fucking TV, all that shit talking you do to other people. Now someone's got you on the fucking phone, you can't even fucking man up.
And he hangs up. Now, to be fair, he did say I'm so, like he did, man. Like he said, like here's the thing. But let's break this down. I don't know what this dude wants him to say.
Well, listen. Here's the Steve Smith right there. That was Steve Smith finding a hole in the zone and just sitting there, like he said sorry and then he hung out. He's just like waiting as the zone moved around and
He's waiting for Jake Delhomme to just unload.
Yeah. I mean, you say you're sorry, and then I guess just be like, yeah, all right, beat and hang up. Like him sitting there, wild.
Absolutely.
But also, I like that the guy's plan was film this and then go, Steve Smith. That's Steve Smith Sr. Like he hits him with the name so that he can put the video up. He's like, you're Steve Smith Sr.
So here's
he's like, you ain't gonna say anything. You ain't gonna say anything. 89 on the Panthers from 2004 to 2014. Ravens is like giving him his fucking statistics. Just so everybody knows who he is. What's up, Mr. 90 catches in 2011? Steve Smith Sr., very much not the Steve Smith that Eli Manning made into a Pro Bowler 1 year before disappearing. Everybody needs to know who you are. You senior.
So here's the best part. This is what he tweets, which he created a Twitter account just for this, for the record, then deleted it. He tags at Antonio Brown, at ESPN, at TMZ, at the Panthers, at Steve Smith.
So to clarify, he tags Black ESPN and then ESPN.
Correct.
In that order.
TMZ, Panthers, Steve Smith, NFL Network, probably because he works for the NFL Network. TaylorMade Golf. I assume he must have an endorsement deal.
Okay.
Ghost Golf Club, I assume endorsement deal. And at Yeti Coolers, which everybody made jokes about, which again, I'm assuming those are endorsement deals.
Yeah. Did he tag the Ravens?
Oh yeah, hold on.
Oh, okay. Because what was it? Something his wife works for the Ravens or something like that?
Yeah, this is part of the post. So he tags everybody, and then in the caption, my wife works for the Marching Ravens. She met Steve Smith Sr. at work. Steve Smith has been fucking my wife. I got receipts. I got a lot more, homie. And then he posted some of the receipts, the text exchange, where it's cut off. She writes, yes, sir. He writes, take me down your throat like you kind of like you wanted to suck me off. And she said, I did. I would have gagged on it, but I had to come home. He writes, you enjoy it. You feel like it. He says, I feel like it deep. She writes, I like feeling it deep in my wet pussy. And he says, me too. Letting you taste it, though, would be such a turn on. I would have shot my nut all over your pussy.
What about the nut?
And then she writes, I love making you come. I enjoy it more when you come inside me. Ow, whoa, total cream pie. So he's posting receipts, and then you didn't think this could get wilder? She posted. Oh my! Have you not seen this, dude? I didn't see it. I'm just gonna pull this up. She posted like some of the selfies and all the wild, dirty sex.
Why was she posting that?
Bro, she posted. This is her post on Facebook.
Whoa, hold on.
I'm assuming he grabbed her phone.
Yeah.
Right?
Got it. Yeah.
He had to have. He had to have grabbed her phone or had access. Hi, I'm Nicole Martinez. Though I won't be a Martinez much longer. You see, I've been cheating on my husband, and I've been doing so with the very famous Steve Smith Sr. Again, not Steve Smith Jr. from Eli Manning fame and the New York Giants. Dude, he almost does it with Robert Littau. Pics attached for reference. Unbelievable. I had him hidden under 3. I guess that was the contact, but that's been fixed. My husband bought me a house. He stood by my side after I'd been arrested twice for domestic abuse or domestic violence. So she was beating her husband as well. And this is how I repay him and our son. There's plenty of messages here, Steve. Crazy the kind of revealing messages a celebrity will send. Baltimore Ravens, I am also a member of your team band. I believe I violated some fraternization rules by hooking up with Steve at the training facility. And again, the husband, who clearly has her phone, tags ESPN, TMZ, Carolina Panthers, and Antonio Brown. Bro, he was hitting it. I mean, we got, she's talking about, that's why Robert Littau did the IED thing. She was talking about he banged her so hard that she thought he rearranged her IUD. He went so deep.
Well, I mean, where are we at in the world today? This is the question. Is Steve Smith on the NFL Network starting next year?
That's what I was just about to ask. Yes.
I'm a coin flip at this point.
I think he is.
Dude, you go back, what, 7 years or whatever? You go back to Me Too. He's gone already.
But how is this? I mean, this was obviously clearly just a consensual, affair.
No, I know. I'm just saying, this is my point.
You're saying
he didn't do anything illegal. I mean,
yeah,
for the most part,
he did rearrange her IUD.
Right. But bad PR, people walk away from things like this, especially like back then. My question is now, where are we living now? Does Steve Smith are him and Carissa Thompson just pairing up for a show where they fuck? Like, what's next for this?
If I had to bet, I bet you he's still on the NFL Network. Dude, Shannon Sharp filmed sex noises clearly purposely.
Yeah.
During a session.
Yeah.
And nothing happened to him. I mean, I would think this was, by the way, the tweet that you were talking about. Steve Smith cheated on his wife for Jeff Van Gundy. LOL, lock him up and throw away the key, bro.
That's so funny. Can we get more pics of her? Because,
yeah, let's.
I mean, she doesn't look terrible there, although she does have the transition lenses on, like she's my 7th grade science teacher, Mr. Weber.
What's her name? Let me find them. Well, I did go to Black Sports Online, and bro, it's just, you got to go through Nicole Martinez. Okay. Here's one from timesnonews.com. Seems like a legitimate source here. Let's pull this bad boy up. Okay, so who is Nicole Martinez? What is a Marching Ravens member?
It's the marching band. The Ravens have like a fucking high school band. They got the marching band action.
Okay.
She plays the skin flute, obviously. She plays the rusty trombone.
Oh, great use of rusty trombone there. Okay, Nicole Martinez, a member, like you said, of the Baltimore Marching Band. I can't talk. Baltimore Marching Ravens, the official band of the team. Let me see here. I don't know if we have anything else on her. I mean, they met at work, which we already know. Okay, let's finally get to the article. Here it is. As per their wedding page, Nicole Martinez and Antonio Martinez.
Oh, you gotta hit their wedding page, dog. Is their wedding page still up?
Met on Tinder. Oh, bro, it is. Okay, hold up. Let's exit out of there. Good call. Let's share their wedding page here, dog. You see it?
Oh man.
Antonio G. Maybe that's why he kept sharing with
Lake
Antonio.
Placid, New York. Poor guy.
Oh, I mean, she's preggers here, it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they got a picture. We tested positive, but it wasn't the Rona. I assume that was the baby. Oh man, this is deeper than he got on that IUD now. So they just got married, man. We're talking
Oh my God. They're talking in
9/25
September.
last September.
Wow. So he's fucking her the whole time.
Oh, they're Packers fans.
I hate her, by the way. Like just everything about her social media present, all her pictures. She sucks. She sucks. This is. I'm honestly putting a little bit on Antonio here. Yo, that ain't your baby. You raising some other man's kids. I'm assuming you're getting married while she's pregnant. She doesn't take her glasses off for the fucking wedding photo. She's sticking her tongue out, doing the fucking lip curl. This one's like 40% on you, dog.
They met on Tinder.
Yeah, on Tinder.
We never thought.
Listen, hold on a second. My fiance and I met on Bumble, but Bumble ain't Tinder, dude.
Well, you bring up an extra point. Brittany and I met on Hinge. So, is there really a difference between the apps? The three apps?
Yeah. Tinder's where you find turned out whores with fucking who are trying to get you to raise their baby and beat you up. I didn't even do Tinder I've never done. I've barely done the dating apps in my life. You have a lot more dating app experience than I do. But when I in this last bout, and the only real significant time I ever spent on it, I was like, I'm gonna do Hinge. Like, at the time that was the one that was like whatever. And I did think that their interface was the best. And I was like, and I'm gonna do Bumble, safe space for the ladies.
I mean, look, it really, let me put it this way. It fell off my last iteration of dating apps before I met Brent here. So like, I don't know, 3.5 years ago, it was by far the worst. Like, I didn't even mess with it. It was all Hinge and Bumble. But yeah, they met on Tinder. They had a kid. They met on Tinder June 6, 2020. Had a kid April 2021. Tied the knot.
All right, so that is his 2 kids.
I gotta look at the receipts when the text messages. Now he's got a family too, and 4 kids.
Who? Steve Smith?
Yeah,
He's got a wife.
yeah, 4 kids.
Wow.
So I mean, yeah.
I mean, we knew he had a kid. We knew there was a Steve Smith Jr.
And from what I recall, he's a pretty wife, like prettier than
Mr. Weber.
I just like what's your take on this guy? What's your take on publicly? Here's my thing. I think as a guy, I've never been in this position as far as a wife cheating on me, and discovering the text.
Can't have a wife cheat on you if you don't get married. I like your plan, Andy.
True. But like, like, keep it. I don't know. I'm more prone to say like, keep it in house with her.
Yes. Okay. Here's 2 things about it. One, this is obviously all a rage, right? Like he's just firing this off. So what he would do 6 months from now versus what he's doing now are 2 totally different things. And 2, it's Steve Smith. It's not like Steve from fucking around the way that no one gives a shit about. Like this guy fucking ruined his life. So he's ruining his life back. You can't listen. If some guy fucks your wife, you can't just be like, Tom from fucking, Wawa, fuck my wife. Wawa's like, we don't give a shit, dude. No one wants to work here. Like, everybody here is fuck somebody's wife.
It's revenge on. I'm going to get him to lose his job at the NFL Network.
Yeah, exactly. And just blast him and fuck up his marriage, obviously, probably. Fuck up
Even
his
though,
kids.
I mean, like, look, I'll just say, like, it is emasculating to act, to acknowledge that your wife wanted.
It happened. It happened no matter what.
Deep dick from another guy.
Yeah. Well, listen, this is something that every guy out there needs to remember. Just because, and I'm trying to think, like, I haven't really been properly cheated on that I know of. You know what I mean? Certainly nothing like this. Whores are gonna whore, dude. This guy, like, fucking Antonio could have a 14-inch dick. Whores are gonna whore. She's just, this doesn't, certainly sometimes it has something to do with your relationship and your sex life and your whatever. And sometimes whores are just going to whore. And dogs are just going to dog, dude. And that's a testament. That's something I can speak from experience. Like, sometimes you're just going to be a fucking piece of shit. Whether everything's going great in your relationship or not, you're just going to be a piece of shit because you can't. She could just be a fucking whore.
Maybe she went through.
Look at her. She's in the fucking marching band, dude. This one time at band camp, Steve Smith fucking knocked my IUD out.
Yeah. I mean, what a great day for Black Sports Online. I mean, this whole weekend I looked. He was just reposting. I was looking today all the quote tweets. Just
the gif of the black guy's eyes that just go like crazy wide. That's Robert when he gets the fucking email that this shit went down. He's like, "Yo, check this out." He's like,
I will be curious though, man, if he keeps his job.
I'm gonna say no because of how explicit the receipts are,
and then also he's so easily replaceable.
Yeah.
Just grab another.
I mean, we're talking about wide receiver. We're talking about how easily replaceable wide receivers in the game are today. Imagine replacing a wide receiver that's out of the game that just has to fucking say ridiculous shit like, back in my day, you went over the middle and you fucking took the hit.
Yeah.
At this point, it is. And it's a really sad state of affairs. I think it speaks to the world as a whole, but it's hard to find these people in the media, whether it be sports or otherwise, that aren't full on fucking hot take artist dickheads. I mean, I don't know if you've got it on the rundown, but the Dan Orlovsky tweet.
No, I didn't see that.
Dan Orlovsky, I mean, you want to talk about sucking billionaires' dicks, which is a absolute fucking epidemic these days, that people are just deep throating the cocks of billionaires who hate them.
I'm trying to pull it up.
Basically, he's saying the
is
NFL.
Is it the NBA one?
Yeah.
All this convo around NBA and viewership and the guaranteed money and the players playing, not playing, reminds me of one of the reasons why the NFL is king. No fully guaranteed contracts. You have to earn your money year after year after year after year, no matter your age. You got to play and play well to keep getting paid.
It's a ridiculous thing for a former NFL player. That is not a ridiculous thing for fucking Chris Mad Dog Rizzo. That's the king, my because you get brain damage. Next man up, guy. Next man up. But it is a ridiculous thing for a former NFL player to be like, yeah, it's good that we don't get contracts. If you get fucking mangled, you're gone. Next man up. It's a ludicrous thing to fucking the NFL contracts. It's been a problem forever. You can say you come off the fucking salary cap if you get injured and you're out for a certain time, you come off the salary cap and you make that fucking money. But this idea that NFL players just go sign a deal, shred an ACL, and all they got is whatever they made up to that, it's offensive in this single game where you're most likely to get injured.
But is that what he's trying to say, or is he just trying to make a bad analogy with viewership connected to guaranteed money? Like I don't think.
Is the guaranteed money really have anything to do with the viewership?
No, I don't think it does.
Right. So
but my question to you is
of trying to make it stretch to that, so that you can like flex on NFL players, like we're fucking tough because you got to go out there and perform if you want to get paid.
Also, your backup QB, so like context is huge for me.
Yeah.
Here, like you're known for running out of the end zone.
Yeah.
To get a safety.
And also, not only that, but you're like, and this is not a diss on any, but like Dan Orlovsky was probably in the NFL. He's obviously not physically gifted compared to the majority of players. He's probably in the NFL for the most part because smart enough to understand the game, break the game down the way he does. But like, that's what makes you great. What makes you great is having the drive and the ability and the mental stuff. Like LeBron James is the greatest that has ever played in, potentially team sports history because he's the most freak elite athlete that's ever been and one of the freakiest mental athletes that there's ever been, all in one. Dan Orlovsky is probably in the NFL because of his brain. He wasn't physically gifted enough not to run out of the end zone scared. So yeah, Dan Orlovsky can fucking disappear for a couple years and coach high school lacrosse and come back and talk on the NFL. What about the linebacker who barely graduated high school and went to Alabama where they still didn't teach him a goddamn thing about anything? And then he gets CTE. Now what? Now he's changing fucking tires at the local Valvoline.
Look, I think obviously there's a lot of conversation around viewership in general. And it's making, the truth is it's making big headlines in baseball now. I mean, I don't think people realize ESPN dropping, which obviously I have in the rundown, ESPN opting out after this year to not do the last 3 years of their deal with Major League Baseball for Thursday Night Football. And I believe it also Sunday night, right?
Thursday Night Baseball.
Thursday night.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge story to me because you're not seeing that in any other leagues. They're all getting paid more. They're making more money. ESPN's like, this isn't worth $550 million a year. We're opting out, which, like, to me, sound the alarm bells if I'm Major League Baseball. I really think it's not being stated how big a deal that is. And baseball, of course, is trying to spin it as in ESPN wasn't giving them enough value. They weren't giving them enough coverage. The network straight up said the $550 million for the next 3 years was way above current value. That's what ESPN said.
Yeah.
So like, to bring it back to kind of Orlovsky, it's like, okay, well, the contracts continue to increase for all the other sports. Baseball is kind of at a crossroads, I'd say. Basketball, there's a huge discussion about it. But again, it's like, well, the game is a global game. I don't know how they judge the eyeballs in different countries. Also, if the TV deal just went up, does viewership matter? I don't know what anyone's saying. Does it matter?
No. That's, I mean, obviously,
because it is a business, right? The goal of the business is to make money.
Right.
It's sports entertainment.
You'd prefer the ratings to be higher,
for sure.
But in the end, what you're like, this is the baseball, football, Applebee's pricing, whatever. It's like, it's when all is said and done, would you rather sell 10 cheeseburgers for $2 or 2 cheeseburgers for $40? You know, it's like they have the NFL or the NBA. The NFL is trying to figure out how to even logistically make a regular season game in Australia happen. The NFL is trying to make flag football for girls happen because their eyes are set on like, how do we continue? We have a dominance. Like we have the most dominant. We're the most dominant sport by a landslide
Maximize
for
the profit,
men in
yeah.
America.
Yeah.
But how do we open this up even further? The NBA has already done that, and they're 30 years into doing this. They're 30 years into the globalization of basketball, which we can see by how good the NBA has become with international players. So they're ahead of the game. They beat the internet to going worldwide. And so their idea of like, no one watches the All-Star game, they're like, it would be better if people did watch the All-Star game. But in the end, it's all about eyeballs. It's all about, how much merch we're selling, how many people subscribe to us on fucking Instagram, how many people are watching us on YouTube, how many people like that YouTube number, which is a big thing that they point to for the NBA. Probably the most important number in media these days. How many people follow you on YouTube?
It's definitely very important. And the talking point, the talking point of nobody watches the NBA is counterintuitive when we know the traditional media is just not a thing anymore. It's just not.
Right.
It's just not.
Right.
We're sitting here right now.
Right.
So like
listen, it's not here you go, Monday morning drinking game, but it's like the Clay Travises of the world. You're not on ESPN, dude. You're not even on Fox Sports. You're not on shit. You're on the internet. So the NBA ratings are down. Your entire life exists on you're an internet talking head.
Sure.
So the idea that is somewhat unsuccessful. Oh, the NBA is big on the internet. Who cares? It's like you're big on the internet.
Well, there's irony there. That's the irony of if you're big, if you have millions of followers because of the internet, and you're not on mainstream TV. That's the irony of like, then why does the NBA have to be on TV, or why does anything have to be on TV?
Right.
I mean, it's definition of irony. It's like, to me, it's all about the money.
There's not a single person on ESPN, in all of ESPN, including the CEO. There's not a single person at ESPN who has the money that Mr. Beast has.
Yeah. And now he's on Amazon, which is still streaming.
I don't know anything about the guy. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like
his
his show.
Yeah.
Like whatever show he does, that they would actually connect with Thursday Night Football, because they'd always do his show after Thursday Night Football. But yeah, exactly. And I say this all the time, especially like on my podcast. I always say, and I stand by, why would you want to go to Hollywood? I say this all the time. If you had like if you can create something and live anywhere, and if you want to go there, fine. But I'm saying, like, I'm talking about traditional film and television, unless you really love that stuff. Like it's a hard sell, right? If you can create whatever you want. And again, when it comes back to the NBA, though, it's like, that's something I guess you could say with Major League Baseball too. Like, I don't know what the eyeballs are, because nobody talks about it in Asia, in wherever, Europe. I don't know how many are people watching baseball as well in South America. It's like we don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is, again, I do know the money. We both know the money. That's not good when a network doesn't want to continue a relationship.
Listen, if I could somehow do it, and like if it was more of a fucking Game of Thrones situation where if I did it, I would take his position, I'd Luigi Mangione Rob Manfred. and honestly, somebody should, and they should put on the 3 bullets, let Prano commish, because I'd save baseball in all 15 fucking minutes. But this is where we're at. Like, baseball for going on 30 years is run by complete and total fucking morons.
Yeah.
You can say anything you want about the NBA, the woke NBA with their BLM shirts and their whatever. David Stearns was an incredible commissioner. And, is Adam Silver close to him? No, but he's still like a cast, he's still on the, he's still in the coaching tree from David Stern. But baseball has been a rudderless ship forever, and they don't think at all. The NBA has, for 30 plus years, has been talking about going global, going global, going global, going global. Major League Baseball has absolutely no rhyme or reason to what they're doing.
Yeah, the question
they don't
is,
care about new fans. They don't care about the old fans. They don't care about whatever. They're just like, we're fucking, what do we do? How about a shift? Fucking ban the shift.
well, that's what the question would be. What's your objective? What's your goal?
Yeah.
If globalization is the goal of the NBA, is the goal of the NFL, you can firmly say that. I don't know what I can say about. I don't know what the goal of the Major League Baseball is, because you've had forever, right? Our whole life, you've had so many international players already. Like, that's already built in your game. You didn't have to go out and have a dream team. You didn't have to start playing games in Brazil and Germany and England like the NFL. Like, the game was already there for baseball. From South America to North America to Japan and some of the countries in Asia. It's like, it was already there. I just don't know, how did they capitalize on it? I don't know.
Listen, I do it in 10 minutes. Let Perennial Commish. What? Think about baseball in popular culture. Think about Field of Dreams. I'm just going off the top of my head. Think about Field of Dreams. Think about The Natural. Think about The Sandlot.
Major League.
That doesn't fit my point, but
okay.
The first three of the first ones I can think of. Literally every one of those movies is about a fucking dad and their kid. The fucking Field of Dreams is all about a dad and a kid, right? The Natural, him throwing in the fucking field with the kid, and then the Wonder Boy, and there's a kid, and he's giving the kid, and then at the end, he's a dad, and blah, blah, blah. Sandlot is literally like, this kid moves to a town, and Dennis Leary's his dad, and blah, 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 and he wants to fucking whatever, so he's like trying to find a way to connect with him, so he gets into baseball. Get dads to baseball games with their kids or moms or uncles or whatever. Baseball is a slow moving game. The draw of baseball is a hot dog, a fucking beer, a conversation, teach your kid to keep score, do all these fucking things. We need to speed the game up. Why? So dads have less time to pitch their kids on why baseball is fucking enjoyable?
Yeah.
Make it easy to take your fucking kids to a baseball game, sit there, feed them, talk to them. No, the only people who can go to baseball games anymore are rich assholes who don't care about their kids. Oh, okay. That seems like a real fucking way to grow the game.
What do you think of the Yankees reversing the facial hair rule?
Had to happen. Honestly, it's more to the point. And listen, I have made a number of videos fucking dunking on the Yankees ever since the Mets stole Juan Soto from them. And every Yankee fan like, yeah, fucking January champions, Mets every year. This is not about the Mets, dude. This is about the Yankees. Ding dong, the witch is dead. You don't have the most money anymore. There's now multiple teams with more money than you. This whole thing was a sham. It was all a fucking lie. People want to play here because of the legacy. People want to play here because they want to be part of what Ruth was part of, what DiMaggio was part of, what Mantle was part of. No, they don't. They want to be part of a team. They don't care if their name's on their back of their jersey. They don't care about showing their tattoos. They don't care about having long hair or a beard. They want to be a part of the Yankees. No, they don't. Never did. Not for 1 second. It was all about the money. Every single person, Jason Giambi cutting his hair was him selling out. Everybody who ever shaved their beard was them selling out. They sold out for money. That's why they did it. It's the only reason they did it. They never gave a fuck about it. And now they don't have the most money. And they're like, well, we can't pretend that guys are doing this anymore because of the legacy. Because now guys are going, literally, fuck off. And you know what? Yankee fans, suck my dick from the back. This is further proof that the whole thing was a fucking sham, and you're done. You're done. You're not the fucking king shit anymore because you can't overpay for everybody. So now you're breaking your own fucking rules and being like, please come play here. You can keep your beard. Which, by the way, like a ludicrous rule.
Here's the thing about that rule. It's a wild rule, but there is a part of me, I have to admit, that in a weird way was like, oh, that's kind of cool that they have that rule. I wouldn't like it if I played for him.
Yeah, no one would like to play for him. It's also like, it's also a thing of, I don't even have a beard. Honestly, I have the exact hair and facial hair that fucking the Yankees want. They want you to have short hair and a mustache. The Yankees boner out if a guy shows up to fucking spring training looking like me. They're like, this is the greatest thing of all time. But no one wants to be told you can't do it just cause. Why can't I have long hair? Just cause.
Tradition.
We said so.
Yeah.
Not tradition, because we said so. We're different.
They're also, I don't know if you saw this, they're also not going to play New York when they lose.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that's another change. And basically they originally, according to the story, Steinbrenner wasn't going to, I think it was supposed to be for
wins.
For wins, correct.
Like I Love LA.
Yes.
Like back in the New York groove.
Exactly. It was going to be for wins. And then I don't know what happened along the way. I guess he wrote a letter. Steinbrenner asked for approval from Sinatra in 1980. And he gave him approval, obviously. And then, yeah. I mean, you see how it played out. Now they're going to, I think, they said they're going to start a rotation. They're going to mess with it in spring training. They'll start with other Sinatra songs when they lose.
How about this? How about just let people walk out quietly when you lose? I think that's the best part of the win song. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that every single time I go to a Mets game and they win, I put up video of Back in the New York Groove. And if it's an away game, I add the music. Every time. It's the best part of winning the game is you get to hear your fucking win music. And the worst part is walking out in dead silence. Like after I watched the Mets lose Game 5 in the World Series to the Kansas City Royals, and the silence was so deafening that I could almost hear a voice like Field of Dreams going, just jump. Just fucking jump. Just don't play any music.
Yeah, that's for sure an option. So we got someone waiting. It's been long overdue.
Michael Machine, Matty Goldberg, Tug Coker. Who's in?
Wow. Oh, our good friend up north.
It's been a long wait.
Mr. Ryan.
Jacob Faith.
Take a fate. Let's bring on our hockey correspondent. You know,
Oh, here he is.
here's the deal. Before I bring him on, he's got that Ruther. He's got that Klatt curse. I want to say like how he predicted the Four Nations final, and then how it played out. Let's bring him.
We
on.
gotta play his walk up song. Come on, ride the train and ride it. Come on, ride that train.
Andrew
I don't think I've
Ruther.
ever seen Klatt without a hat.
Look at
Hatless
Klatt's
Klatt.
flow, looking nice today.
All
Looks like he
through
had
this
his head
moment,
out the
boys.
window of the train on his way here.
That's exactly what I did. It's all for the presentation. It's all about the presentation in this business, right?
You got
It
that
is.
hockey. You got that hockey hair when they get into a fight and the helmets come off.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, is that what his Chuck's hair looks like?
The Ron Duguay hair. Imagine how good Ron Duguay felt in warm-ups, just that hair flapping around.
Ruther's about to say, I have no idea who Ron Duguay is.
I
No,
have no
Not a
idea.
chance.
I
One of
have
the top-
no. Who is? He sounds like an actor in the '70s. Who's
Top
Ron
5
Duguay?
hockey hair of all time, Ron Duguay.
Really?
Yeah.
Chris Berman, Ron Duguay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
See, I can't even laugh because I don't even get. I know Chris Berman. I get the some.
I
sort
mean,
of
that
reference
wasn't
there.
as really. That wasn't. But you get the
I
Seinfeld reference.
I kind of knew what you're doing.
What's up, Clatter?
Oh, not much. Just basking in the afterglow of that glorious victory last week. That was
Same here.
Right.
Me and you, the resident Canadians in the house. Ruther, the only one here who's upset about it.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I wasn't upset. You know what I did? You want to hear something? Of course, I watched it, and it was fun. It was, as a guy who knows nothing about hockey, it was fun to watch. I did. You know what I just gave out? This is what I did, Clyde. I just gave out a fuck like that, and just like that. It wasn't anger. It was just like because not that I have.
darn it.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. But with the F bomb, and then I said, okay, it's time. Like we had on our bedroom. Okay, it's time for bed. Like that was it.
I almost woke up my kids. I was fucking making a huge ruckus. But
Yeah. So what's that like as a Canadian? Like this was a big one, right?
well, this
Have you guys? Let me ask you something also to answer as part of this. Have you guys decided what the United States as the 11th province will be called?
Well, no, not 11th province. You guys are the 4th territory.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
get ready
like
to
that.
learn. Get ready to learn Inuit, there, buddy. You're hunting for seals for sustenance now.
So
But,
yeah, talk me through like the Canadian mindset.
I have some ideas. How about this? Because you're, Saskatoon. How about Saskathreen? We're the third
Okay,
Saska.
yeah,
Saskathreen.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I like that. Yep. So, so anyways, Addy, for your question, this tournament, I didn't really know what to expect in terms of how much people would care going into it. There was a couple naysayers saying it was going to be a glorified exhibition, but I have to say the amount of hype it got while it was going on, it really surprised me. And it's, that game last Saturday between Canada and US, where with the 3 fights in 9 seconds, that really set the tone, and it got everyone kind of listening. So it made it a huge deal going into the final. And then, and I mentioned with my call, like the 51 states comments from Trump was like, yeah, he's trolling, but like it did add a little fuel to the fire, right? So no, it was
Talk about your all-time backfires.
So
we wanted it bad.
I'm sure, and I could tell the American team did too. Like just teams just busting their ass and giving it their all. Now let me ask you this: like, I know nothing about the fights. Like obviously I saw the highlights, but did they just plan that out? Like,
Well, it was kind of brought up behind the scenes after that. The Kachuk boys were in the group chat saying like, let's fucking start something right off the draw. So typically in a hockey fight, if it's happening right off a draw, like you got the two wingers on the side, one guy will say, "We're going." Like that's kind of hockey code. It's like, we're going, and you can't really say no. And in that type of game, like good on Brandon Hagel for answering the bell against Matthew Tkachuk. Matthew Tkachuk's really tough, and he did pretty well. And then, Brady Kachuk gets in a fight too. And then I can't remember the third one was Colton Parayko and whoever. But yeah, that's kind of how it went. It started in a group chat and, all about the presentation, Just
I have a couple questions. Okay. First of all, this replaced All-Star Weekend?
It did for this year.
Okay.
This year. Going forward, like who the fuck knows what's going to happen going forward.
But that was a decision that the NHL made because of the success or lack thereof of All-Star Weekend and stuff like that?
I don't think it was directly related to All-Star Weekend. I think it was more so having to do with, the NHL players returning to the Olympics, that kind of getting decided. And the NHL was saying, we want our own, NHL organized best on best tournament to, give everyone a little teaser for what's to come.
So next year it's in the Olympics, correct?
Next year it's NHL players
are back in the Olympics,
yeah.
And so a little bit of a hype video for that at the very least is like, because I remember the last time it was NHL players, it was a pretty big deal in hockey as well. So probably just like a refresher course. That now the question I asked last episode or when you called in feels like a big part of hockey in terms of nations or regional hotbeds was missing from this in the Eastern Bloc teams.
The Russians, I'm assuming you mean.
Yeah, or just like that whole area is kind of. I know there's the smaller countries don't put out the same amount. Is the lack of Russians specifically? Is that just a geopolitical thing? Like we're not letting Russia involved?
Yeah, mostly. Like Russian hasn't been welcome in every year they do the World Juniors. I don't know if the under 20 World Championships, ever since the Ukraine stuff, Russia hasn't been invited to those. So it probably has to do with that. As for I know you touched on
You'll be
why
invited next year. I can guarantee you that. I'm solving everything. Don't worry. Also, Israel and Palestine it'll be 6 nations next year. Israel and Palestine will be involved.
Yeah, that's
great hockey hotbeds over there.
It's gonna be great. Yeah, but you touched on why these 4 nations, are they even the best 4 nations? And with Russia out of the picture, these are the best 4 nations. Like Canada, US, Sweden, Finland, they are the 4 best. There's a couple missing.
Would there be let's say it was the 6 nations, would there be a huge drop off to 5 and 6?
So assuming Russia is welcome back, so Russia is definitely in, they would probably beat out Finland. Or Russia is they've got insanely talented wingers right now. Insanely talented wingers and insanely talented goalies. They're so deep at goaltending. Their defense and center is kind of weak though right now. But Russia is and always has been a powerhouse.
Oh, their defense is weak. All right, that's why I'm going to take them over.
Yeah, the time is now. And then other than them, you've got Czech Republic or fucking what are they? Czechia, is that what they call themselves now? They're a pretty big hockey nation. Obviously, Jágr comes to mind there. Slovakia has always been big, in the World Cup of Hockey that they've done a few times. It's Czech Republic, Slovakia. Those have been some teams that have been included typically. And then Germany's kind of slowly sneaking in. You got Leon Draisaitl, a couple of good Tim Stützle. You guys probably haven't heard of him, but he's a pretty good young player. And then Switzerland's got a few guys too, but not huge. So there is a bit of a drop off after these 4. If Russia was included, it would have been pretty level. And then Czechia is pretty good. Slovakia is really fallen off though. Now that I think about it, no more Marian Hossa, no more Chara. But anyways, these are the best 4 nations.
So the reason I was kind of saying the Klatt curse on your call was about the goalie situation and
right.
How the U.S. had the advantage there, and then Binnington just from after the U.S. takes the lead, just locks it down.
Yeah.
And what the channel says, what would that be from the Blues days when they won?
Well, interestingly enough, Andy, so the Blues won in 2019. Binnington went on this insanely hot run. Won in a game 7 in which building?
Same one, right?
TD Gardens, yeah. So
Yeah.
TD Gardens game 7, he shut out the Bruins, and then he brought some of that magic back. Shut up a lot of critics, and I like the Canada goaltending depth is what it is right now. Like, it isn't great. After we had a stranglehold on the position forever. Like growing up, all these French Canadians like Marty Brodeur, Patrick Waugh, Roberto Luongo, and then later on Carey Price. Carey Price had maybe the best goaltending performance of all time in the 2014 Olympics ever. And then all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, we've got like, the 20th best goalie in the NHL, or maybe not even. So anyways, Binnington really stepped up, and he stole that game for sure. Made some huge saves.
He was playing him again. I don't know anything about it, but just watching, like, wow, he's making amazing saves. But they said his career, again, just me listening to the announcers, is very kind of up and down.
For sure, yeah. He is not to do really much with his playing itself, but he's a big like hothead. Like he fucking flies off the handle. He loses his temper a lot. He's sarcastic in interviews. It's kind of funny. It puts on a good show. But yeah, ever since the Blues won the cup, he hasn't been nearly as strong. No. But Canada GMs were saying like, he has it in him, right? We know he has it in him. He has that clutch factor in him. And it just took that big stage to bring it out again. So
wait, kind of throw a bone here for Prano. A little Eli Manning-esque now. He's got 2 little runs here.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Was he the MVP of that finals cup?
He wasn't.
Nah,
He was not. No.
So let's
We're close.
Come on. Let's not disrespect.
But like, I guess after
as much as I like Chester Bennington's career, or right?
It's Jordan, right?
Rip.
Oh,
Rip.
You're talking about his nickname. Yeah.
But like you said, they don't know what they're gonna do, Ryan.
It was like once he got into the finals, it was like they woke him up inside,
Wrong band, but okay.
Okay, see, I don't know any of the things. Who the fuck is that? Korn?
Let's have Evanescence. Come on.
Trash.
You just said it in the end, it didn't even matter.
By the way, it's funny that Ryan's here. We do have a hate call about Drake, actually. Another Canadian.
Oh, that's okay. I hate Drake too.
You hate Drake too. Well, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. If people like me are watching the game from like start to finish.
Did you watch from start to finish?
Start to finish.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. I'm talking national. Because
you took the day off from work that day.
you son of a bitch, Frano. I'll tell you what. I wanted to see. I was curious how the crowd was going to react to the national anthem. Surprisingly, I don't think they really booed the Canadian one. I mean, what do you think?
I don't think I think I missed the anthem.
It wasn't compared to like how it was in Montreal. I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked that people from Boston like weren't going psycho booing. They really weren't.
In the past, the Canadian anthem has been booed by Americans in the past, like just for no reason. Just
sure.
In the playoffs, I remember a couple times it's happened. So yeah, kind of interesting that it was. You're saying that it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't. There wasn't really boos. But again, if I'm watching this thing, and I'm like that,
kneeled, though, those racist pieces of shit,
and I'm vested. There's a lot of me that they brought in, and it worked, right? Why would they? My question is, why would they not do this every year?
Oh yeah, right. Like, and especially like you said, instead of an all-star game, like, well, you got to remember though, it is a huge disruption to the NHL schedule, and you are risking injury to your players. And there was a few guys that got injured. There was a D-man on Canada that got injured, Shea Theodore for the Golden Knights, and I don't know if this was clickbait, and I haven't followed up on it, but apparently Matthew Tkachuk may have sustained a pretty serious injury in the tournament. Like, he didn't play much in the third period. I haven't really, if there's been news broken on that, I've missed it, but he might have sustained a pretty serious injury. So that would be a pretty big blow there So
unless he got injured sucking Steve Smith Sr.'s cock, we're not covering it.
oh, did you guys go over that? That's
Yeah.
pretty.
Did we go over? Did we open the show with it? Come on.
Is it that and Cat Williams for the first 45 minutes? Gary Coleman, maybe.
No, but hey, you know what we should do? We should do an update on those, though. We should do a Dirty Sports throwback update on Cat Williams, update on Gary Coleman. Rest in peace. By the way. I'm not waffling.
All time. That was all time.
That was an all timer. So, like, what do we do? Did we celebrate it all? How do we bask in the?
Yeah, what's
Canadian
going? Well,
glory?
yeah, what's the immediate reaction in Canada? Like, is Canada's like, yeah, fuck you guys?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
love that for you guys.
Like, I wasn't
For
out
us,
in the streets
honestly.
or anything, but no, it was a big one. Like, you guys wanted it too, though. I'd like, right?
Yeah.
So both teams wanted it bad, and you know, we got it done. But you know, it should set the stage for the Olympics next year going forward, and the Olympics is obviously gonna be a bigger deal. I won't deny. And if the U.S. winds up winning that, they'll have had the last laugh. But
And
until they
where's
take
the
it
Olympics
from
again? Where's the next Olympics?
us,
Is it
I
Italy?
couldn't tell you.
Isn't it
Is it in
Italy?
Italy again?
Is it?
No, is it just in Italy?
Well, it
Italy
was
down
in
the line.
Turin in 2006, but that was
Yeah.
a little while ago now.
It's in Milano Cortina, northeastern Italy.
All right, let's
Oh.
go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well,
Now, do my Italians have any chance of winning that hockey medal?
I would put the odds at like plus 300,000 for
Okay.
Team Italy right now.
So you're
That's what
saying
the
there's a
opening-
chance.
There's a chance.
Do they even play
Throw
hockey?
a dollar on.
Yeah,
What's
what Italians hockey?
Well,
Nah,
I mean, they had a hockey team in 2006. Like, the host has to throw someone out there. They probably grab someone from the fucking pizza shop and throw some skates on them. I don't
It
know.
was just Dino Cicerelli and his family.
Yeah. You're Italian, eh, Dino? Get
Yeah.
out there.
Your name's Dino.
So like this ends and they take, what was the break? Was it
A week? Like,
like
how
a week.
long was the break?
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, it was just over, maybe just over a week, like 8 or 9 days. So,
Okay.
and
then
for
they
the
gotta go
Olympics,
back.
it's usually like 2 weeks. So that's what, like, Gary Bettman, he hates the NHL going to the Olympics. He doesn't want it. Like, it's a 2-week disruption to his season. You know, having to manage the schedule, having to like deal with guys getting injured. But I think it puts more eyes on the game, though. Like, you
100%.
kind of, you know, you gotta give to take, or whatever the fuck.
Is he
saying.
still hated? I just remember he was so hated.
I've come around on Gary a little bit. I
Okay.
think the game has grown in his tenure. You know, he's taken a lot of criticism because he's overseen, we've got 3 lockouts.
Yeah.
Since he's been in 1994. He came in, so there's been some labor disputes for sure. He's probably maybe a little bit more anti-player than the last guy. It used to be a president. It was president before Gary Bettman came in and became commissioner. But I think he's done a lot of good things for the game.
Remind me who won the cup last year? So Florida?
Yes, yeah, over Edmonton. Yeah.
Who's your nation's best chance? Is it Edmonton again?
It's got to be Edmonton. I want to say my Leafs every year, but you know, they just, until they do it, they're not going to give me any hope. But
I mean, the Four Nations thing being ended on a goal by the best player in the game also got to be good for the game, right? It's like the man.
It was poetic. It was fucking glorious, because it kind of like reminded me of when Crosby won it for Canada in 2010. You know, Crosby would have been, 23 at the time or 22 at the time. And, he's this big young face of the league, scoring the biggest goal, one of the biggest goals ever. And now to have it kind of come a bit full circle with McDavid doing it now, it was awesome. Yeah. It was totally perfect. Set up by my Maple Leaf boy, Mitch Marner, too. So that was kind of nice.
We were all thinking about you when that happened.
Thanks. Sir.
You know what
That's Ryan's boy. There he is.
I did know when he scored. I was like, oh, just from you being the hockey correspondent, I was like, I know some of these names. I see some.
I love that Ruther's flexing that he's the best player in hockey.
Ryan's had an effect on me. I know who Connor McDavid is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, you learn some things. Are we gonna be able to bring you back on? And before we get out of here, can I get some sort of train update, man? You're leaving me this long.
Sure. Well, okay. Yeah. First part of what you said, we're running it back one more year. We're running it back with me one more year. I hate to do the Kobe Bryant, Derek Jeter retire at the beginning of the year. But unlike those guys, I'm at the top of my game. I'm going out. I'm going to go out on top. We're going to run it back one more year, and then I'm going to, walk off into the sunset. So that's what's going to happen there.
Have you considered extending your contract and letting Andy pay for your kids' daycare? And then we'll just be able to have you have a couple extra hours a day.
I would sign a 10-year contract right now. Andy. I did want to touch on that too. Wait, to come to Andy's defense, because I used to be on Joe's side. Like, what the fuck? They went from the hospital to daycare, right? Like, what the hell's going on? But Andy, you were saying your wife only got like 6 weeks.
No,
maternity leave?
So she gets 12. But they're traditionally a lot of people only get 6.
Okay, well that's fucking brutal. So
Yeah.
that like, what do you do? Like up here, like a year is pretty standard. It might even be in the labor code. Like,
well, I did some research on your country.
That's why your country's going nowhere. That's why we're taking it over, because no one wants to work. All you're doing, you're skipping work and letting fentanyl across the border.
But you guys have, it's just, you basically get like a third of like your salary, right? Or something like that.
Something like that. I thought it was just basically a year is pretty standard across most.
No, but I'm saying to pay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, to pay into it. Yeah, and then once your year is up, then you don't get EI benefits, like employment insurance, once that is used up, right? Like my wife actually took. She's still on maternity leave. Our son was born last Christmas, but she extended her leave. But now she doesn't get benefits or EI or anything. But yeah, no, Andy, like if your wife only gets 6 weeks, it's like, well, you kind of have to send them to daycare, right? Well, like, what do you do?
It's again, it's ridiculous. Don't even, Brandon, I see the face. Don't even get me started on this crux. And guess what? My daycare just went up. And that's what I want to know. You know how they raised it? And I'm like, dude, come on, guys. $18 a kid. I'm like, that's a random number. Like, you could have just done 15. You're trying to get that extra $3 a kid.
$18 a day?
No, a week.
$18 a week, Andy?
No, is what they raised. No, I'm saying they raised it.
They raised it. Gotcha. They raised it. Okay.
$18.
Okay, yeah.
Do you see my point? It's a random number. I'm like,
yeah.
You could have done like 15, but you need to make that extra $3 a kid. In my head, I'm like, you're doing the $3 times 150 kids a week. That's an extra $450 a week times 52 weeks in the year. Like, did you guys just scam us out of an extra 20 grand or something?
Yeah, that's brutal.
Need Doge to go in there and clean it up. Isn't that right, Brano? Get Doge in there. Waste. I'm telling you, they're doing waste. Ryan, I need a quick train update though. Like, sure. give me some status. Will the potential tariffs, will that affect the train schedule? Because I better not.
Well, yeah, it certainly might affect us in a negative way. We'll see what comes of that. I can't really speak too much to the big picture economics of trains, but as for me, I just came in off a night shift. I came into Wainwright, Alberta, and that's why I had to tell you I had to sleep until now because I worked the night. So, just going to Wainwright, and then, a few hours, I'll just hop on a train and go back to Saskatoon, and that's it. That's
a working man right there. We talk about daycare. Coal
I know. Well, listen, he's working the night shift. I did some shows in Arizona over the weekend, drove out after the Sunday night show, got home at 4 a.m. So only fucking Mr. Daycare over here is rested
Whoa.
today.
Hey. Big things are happening over here. The second annual Cincinnati Chili Week started this
Oh,
week.
Jesus.
Oh, that must be Super Bowl weekend.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started. It's a big week for every restaurant in Cincinnati that sells chili, minus Skyline, who doesn't want to participate. True story, because they don't want to give deals, even though like 50 restaurants participate. Cheap asses. Yeah. So Prano, don't you say I'm not working. Chili Week. Gold Star is giving away 10 free people get to win free chili for a year.
No way.
For real.
That's some insane stakes. That's
Yeah, there's some
Gold
big
Star.
stakes there. Hey, real quick. I see in the comment section, 2 college football players in Ryan's province just arrested for trafficking fentanyl. Prano, what do you think? Where's your Trump impersonation for this one?
I guess Trump is onto something. We got college hockey players shipping fentanyl.
No, football players.
Oh, college football players. Oh, okay. Well, that tracks.
That's why football should only exist in America. We don't need wider fields. All the wider fields allow is for more fentanyl across the border. That's why we can't have it.
If Trump gets rid of the CFL, that's I'm fine with that.
Is it really that bad?
It's terrible. It's terrible product.
What-
I
is
grew
it-
up loving it. I grew up loving the Rough Riders. Now I try to watch it. It fucking sucks.
Is
You know
it
why
just
it's
not?
the Grey Cup? No one cares to polish it and make it silver. That's why no one cares.
That's right.
Is it Ryan? Is it just because like now you see the NFL and you just see like a great product?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Like I just can't with 3 downs. Like it's like you run, you say you get 3 yards off a run, and then you throw and it doesn't work, and it's like it's 3rd and 7, and I'm punting. Like this is brutal. And the single point rouges and the fucking it's a goofy game. All like it's it's got a proud history and of 6 teams and 2 of them being the Rough Riders, but
I look forward to Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers, Russell Wilson going to Canada, and Russell Wilson being unable to convert on 2nd down. That'll be a fun.
yeah,
It'll be a fun change of pace. Right?
he'll be a great Alouette, Russell Wilson.
Well, Ryan, it's always a pleasure having you on. I know, like you said, working hard. You wake up after a long shift on the train.
Yeah.
And we're going to get you back on. Like you said, you're going to have to ride off into the sunset.
Yeah. We'll try to juggle it again this year. And 2 kids. It's not easy with 2 kids, is it, Andy?
I'm telling you, me and Clyde need to get our own pod. Dude, this is what I'm talking about.
Maybe you get your own pod. You guys don't have time to raise your kids. You're adding shit to your plates. Jesus.
He's got Chili Week. There's no way that's going to work.
Yeah.
Boots on the ground for Gold Star.
Unbelievable. Ryan, good seeing you, man. We'll have to bring you back on soon. All right.
Yeah, always good to talk puck with you guys.
All right, for sure.
All right.
See you soon,
take care,
Platter.
bud.
It's honestly become one of my favorite parts of the show.
Oh, he's great. Love the guy.
Love the guy. He was looking a little what's the dude from Parks and Rec? What's the Ron? Is his name Ron? Ron?
I never watched that show.
No, you know who I'm talking about though. Bearded guy.
Aziz Ansari?
Megan Mullally's husband.
Who?
What are you talking about? Like the guy, that handyman guy, the woodworker guy. You know what I'm talking about. With the hat off, he was looking a little.
Chris Pratt?
No, Jesus Christ.
Adam Scott? Nick Offerman?
Nick Offerman. It's looking a little Nick Offerman there without the hat on.
Amy Poehler?
Nick Offerman. My mic off?
Rashida Jones? You know what? To honor Ryan, let's play this. Let's play this Drake hate call, since Drake is also Canadian. 310-359-8365. That is the hotline. Here it is.
Joe, Andy, you're all talking about some music and stuff. This is Vance out of Dallas, and you're just talking about Drake and how whack he is and all that shit. And you said he is a suburban.
You can't hear this?
No, but here, you know what? I since we're
It's
probably
a quick call. It's a quick
here,
call.
Hold on, since we're probably getting ready to wrap up, I think I can do a workaround here. Try it again.
It's a quick call. Hold on. All right.
Joe, Andy, you're all talking about some some music and stuff. This is Vance out of Dallas, and you're just talking about Drake and how whack he is and all.
You can't hear it?
I can't hear shit. That's okay. You can tell me what happened.
Well, it's not. It's a 30-second call. He's just saying Drake, is the definition of like suburban white. And we were talking about like we like to listen to music that we didn't like shit we didn't because how we grew up that we didn't grow up around. But he's saying Drake literally grew up in the same setting as us.
Right.
And I believe at the end of the call, this is what's crazy to me. Vance, at the end of the call, did you say that you used to mess with Aqua, like the Barbie girl group, and they had 90s banging dance songs? That's a crazy take. If true. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Barbie girl?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's saying he fucked with it?
He's saying he fucked with it.
Okay.
That they 2 banging albums.
2 banging albums.
I think that's what he said.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know. 310-359-8365.
I didn't hear the call, but yes, fuck Drake, I guess.
No, he's joking, and he's saying exactly what I used to always say. Started from the bottom, now I'm here. It's like, bro, no, you didn't.
Well, I think he means he was a bottom before.
Power bottom, or just
Yeah.
a bottom.
Yeah, just a bottom.
Okay, that's what he meant. Yeah, give us a call. Let us know. Pereno, I mean, I told you, I warned you that the dirtball dads would come out in full force.
I mean, I got one message.
No, I'm just saying. Clat's saying, I get it. 2 kids. Yeah, I mean, it's a little different. A little different. It's like one of my brother. I don't know if I said this. My brother who has twins. He told me. That's when I was like, okay, I don't want to hear this right before.
All I can think of is Joanne Ruther as 2 different Kobe memes. One, she's like soft, and then somebody going, Andy's having trouble raising 2 kids, and she's like,
first of all, I didn't say trouble. Here's the difference, though, and you know this with your brothers and sisters. Also, you put the kids to work a lot differently back then. There's this classic story of my brother Elliot. While my parents went bowling, their weekly bowling night.
yeah,
He's home watching 4 brothers, including a baby with a fever. And the joke is, I mean, no parent would do this nowadays. They would not leave an 11-year-old home with 4 brothers, especially literally a baby with a fever. I guess he was so worried about the baby's fever, he had to call the bowling alley, back in the day, and be like, can we get Walt or Joanne Ruther on the phone here? I think they need to come home. This baby isn't doing too well. I'm just saying things were a little different.
Sometimes you just need a night of Miller Lights. Speaking of which, it's not a Thursday, so this is not an official Miller Lite ad read, but I went to a comedy club this weekend. I'll leave it unnamed so that they don't get death threats, but I went to a comedy club this weekend. Shout out to a couple dirtballs who came out, worked with Eddie Ift. It's in Arizona. The last time I was there, I headlined the Thursday, and a bunch of dirtballs came out, and Tyler McCoy, some of his dudes, all that, buckets of Miller Lite being served. This time, no Miller Lights. They don't serve Miller Lite anymore, and I got to say, just a disaster. It's no joke. 60% less enjoyable weekend of comedy when I'm like choking down. I mean, the guy was like, the bartender said to me, can you pick a beer? And I was like, I picked a beer. You guys don't have it. So I'm trying to make it work. I'm trying to Dos Equis. I'm trying to Modelo. I'm trying to Guinness. I'm trying to Michelob Ultra. And he's like, pick a beer. I was like, I will. Tomorrow, I'm bringing a 6-pack of my own goddamn beer.
Yeah.
The original light beer.
Shame.
Comedy, when I go on stage at a comedy club with a beer that's not Miller Lite, just know you're not getting my best.
Yeah.
It's like you're getting Michael Jordan wearing Reebok pumps. You're getting Michael Jordan wearing LA Gear catapults.
Or Michael Jordan wearing a Wizards jersey.
Yeah.
You just go right there. All right. That is that's the show. Let's wrap it up. Follow us at The Dirty Sports.
You can follow me at Joe Prano on all social media. You got me on Instagram. You got me on TikTok. You got me this weekend at San Luis Obispo Comedy Festival. Shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday, potentially Sunday. I don't want to guarantee Sunday. I did win Best of the Fest last time, which allowed me to perform on Sunday. No guarantees that'll happen again, especially since, there might be some voter fatigue, as they say. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, San Luis Obispo Comedy Festival, joeprano.com/shows. I got a bunch of shows coming up, adding more and more as we speak, just trying to fill out my calendar. But early May, Athens, Georgia, Athens Comedy Festival, Morton Theater. Fun fact about this. All the shows at the Athens Comedy Festival are happening at the Morton Theater. It's apparently a historic Black-owned theater in Athens, Georgia. I looked it up the other day, and what comes up? Many of the scenes from REM's The One I Love filmed at the Morton Theater. So as a huge REM fan, that's an exciting little crossover. Apparently, it was a rehearsal space also for when it was defunct for many Athens bands, including REM and the god-awful B-52s.
I think they performed at the SNL thing.
Yeah, they did. I fast-forwarded through it. I was like, I don't need this. Can we just do Devo again?
You guys can hear me on my new podcast, Two Kids, One Dad.
Yeah, there you go.
Which is a subset of the Andy Ruther Show. No, not doing that. All right, let's get out of here. Have a great week. We'll see you guys on Thursday or Friday. And as always, stay dirty.